Things that you can declutter without the guilt and that are only going to take you 5 minutes. This list is going to be extensive. All right, first things up is receipts. We got tons of receipts. You got them in your wallet, you got them in your purse, you got them floating around in the car, and a little change thing. Get rid of them. 5 minutes. That's all you need. So nothing in this video that I'm talking about is sponsored. Unused cables and chargers. Why do we all have a lot of chargers and cables? Like, our world just revolves around electronics that need to be plugged into everything and anything. And I found a way to like manage the cables, meaning so that we don't have a lot of lost like cable chargers going to one area and we don't know where it belongs to, because that's happened like so many times. I found these little tabs on Amazon, and I'll link them below, that are color coded, and I actually put it in one of my short videos. But get rid of them. Get rid of the cords. And if you have maybe too many of the same cord, like you only need one or two unless you're like traveling, but even you can even limit some of those because a lot of them are like kind of the same. All those unused cords, or that you don't think that you even know where it belongs to, or maybe you don't even have the item anymore, but you still have the cord, it's time to go. Kitchen gadgets, broken or unused, or maybe you have too many, but kitchen gadgets in general. You don't have to do the whole kitchen. You can start with just a drawer. Just get a drawer, 5 minutes in. If you've got like 4 or 5 spatulas, maybe we don't need those. Maybe we only need 1 or 2. Get rid of the kitchen gadgets that you're not using. Like I have a juicer that I'm probably going to be getting rid of. We were juicing for a long time, and then all of a sudden we kind of just stopped using it because I think it was just the process of like cleaning it that kind of deterred me from actually utilizing it, but it's just taking up space, so we're going to get rid of that too. Stained kitchen towels. So a lot of the times that I'm cleaning my hands, like, and I'm cooking in the kitchen, like sometimes that stuff just doesn't come out, and I've tried my best to try to remove the stains, but they don't look as presentable anymore. So putting them on the stove probably isn't the best anymore, but it's still kind of a usable towel. I actually will take some of those, not all, but some of them, and I will turn them into cloths for the car because they make perfect cleaning towels for the car, like the interior or even like the rims of the car. But otherwise, if you've got some towels and you can't really display them, but you don't want to get rid of them, either turn them into a reusable form of towel for outdoor activities. Otherwise, time to toss them out. Broken hair accessories. So my daughter has like this clip, and it was missing like one of the little teeth thing. We got rid of that. And then she had this like really cute bow, but then like the little clip thing that broke. And then we were holding on to it because I said, well, I'm gonna like take it apart and I'm gonna put a new one. Never happened. Never happened. So yep, just get rid of it. Dried up nail polish. So nail polish can be so frustrating because like you buy like the perfect color, and maybe it was like for a special occasion, and then you use it and then you kind of forget about it, or you don't use it because it's like not going with whatever season or whatever you're doing, and then it just like goes bad, and you have like this $8 bottle of nail polish that goes bad, and it's frustrating sometimes. Get rid of them because they're not really good to be using on your nails anymore, and then the separation, they get clunky, and then your nails don't even look right. So I have actually done a trick where I have kind of limited myself to about 4 to 5 nail polishes, because I used to have like a nail polish box, and then they all would go bad and it just was not working. And then I've also, like, if I still use nail polish, which this is like one of the nail polishes that I use, I choose to use like the instant dry ones, or the ones that dry very quickly, because that way I'm more prone to use it, because it's going to take me less time to do my nails. A finished product faster. You know, like regular nail polish sometimes can take forever, and you're sitting there trying to try your nails, and you're trying to do multiple things as a mom. So I kind of did that, and that helped me utilize the nail polishes more. Expired makeup. Expired makeup is another thing, just like the nail polish, where like you just bought it, but you don't use it all the time. Maybe it's like some random eyeshadow color, or it was a palette and you like really liked 2 of the 3, but it's expired now. I struggle with that as well. Technically, it's supposed to be getting rid of our makeup every 3 months. I'm gonna be honest, I don't do that. I don't do that. Even though I know that I should, I struggle with it. Coupons. It's the next thing. So you know those coupons you were like meaning to spend, or like you were going to blow it out during your shopping list and you just didn't get it done? Yeah, it happens to all of us. Go ahead, get rid of them. Take them out, pull them out, get rid of them, because you're going to get new ones anyways. And then if you've got ones in your email, just do a mass delete. Just do a mass delete. And here's a tip for you. Actually, I have a separate email that I have just for promotional stuff. So like anytime I sign up for any of the stores that I shop at, I literally only send them to this email. So that way, that's where all the coupons go. So if I'm ever looking for a coupon, that's where I'm going to look at it. And it's not going to like fill up my regular email with all the junk. Empty bottles. I don't know why we have empty bottles. We keep empty bottles sometimes. Like whether it's a container that I had food in, because sometimes, and if you see my other video, which I'll link there, I will hold on to the containers because I'm going to utilize them for like storing of other things. But sometimes I keep them too long. Just to be honest, sometimes I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna use it, and then just kind of sits there, and then it starts to pile up. And if they're starting to pile, then you got to get rid of them. So you're not going to use those containers. You're not going to use those empty bottles. So move on from them. Old instruction manuals. So we get a lot of manuals. Actually, you know what? Recently, I just bought a microwave. They're not sending them anymore. But in the past, we used to get a lot of manuals with all of the electronics that we buy. And you probably still get some for like your air fryers and things like that. But if you no longer have the product, well, then you don't need the manual. So if it's sitting in your junk drawer, it's time to get rid of that. But maybe you have like too many manuals, which I currently had. I had them all organized in binders, and I still have them organized in binders because some of the products that I have in my house are old enough that they did not put the product manual online, but the newer products that I have, or appliances specifically, are now available online, and so I can get rid of those. So if you've got appliance manuals or product manuals that you don't really need, or like especially if it's a basic, like you know how to use your diffuser, like there's some basic things with a diffuser, or like basic things with your air fryer, and you kind of know what to do and what not to do, and you don't feel like you really need the manual anymore, but it's just kind of taking up space. Just get rid of it, because more than likely you're gonna find it online, and or you're gonna find some kind of YouTube video or some kind of guide to help you manage whatever product that you are dealing with. Raise your hand if you'd like to collect notebooks. I'm one of those. I love notebooks. I like to write things. We'll get things done more if I write it down, and or I can get things down more on paper. But if you collect notebooks like I do, then you probably need to get rid of them. They're probably full. They're probably all used up. And if you really want to keep some, or keep certain things that are inside the notebook, I would suggest creating a folder. For a short period of time was using a smart notebook. And I really enjoyed the smart notebook. I actually wrote about it on my blog, but I haven't used it recently, which is why I don't really talk about it anymore. But I can link the blog post down below if you want to read a little bit about it. But it actually really does work, and it's kind of fun. I just kept forgetting the electronic side. So I could write in the smart notebook, and you can erase it. And this is actually one of the special pens that you use for it. It's called a R.E.C.L.A.I.M pen. I don't know if you can see that. But it's erasable. The notebook is erasable, so you can reuse it. And then you could save your notes digitally by this little like code that was on the top of it, and you can organize it. I didn't keep up with it. I didn't keep up with the digital part of it. So the notebook was useful, but paper notebooks tend to be more of my go-to because I just kind of like flipping through the pages. And then since I struggled with the digital part of it, I just never carried it over. But I really did like it when I was using it properly and maintaining it. I just dropped off. So, expired food for the pantry. That one's kind of like a no-brainer, but we've got lots of food in our pantries, probably in our fridges, that we can utilize and get rid of. Junk mail. The easiest thing to get rid of is actually junk mail, and I talk about it in my video, which another one I'll post up here, on how I do like my daily organizing of mail. But junk mail is the easiest to get rid of. Like, it takes even less than 5 minutes. This one I know for sure, because when I check the mail, I literally will go through, and before I've even walked into the home, it goes right to the recycle bin. Easiest thing. Now, if you've got some piles of junk mail, just set a timer, put it on your microwave or on your phone or whatever, and take 5 minutes and just go through as much as you can. Now, that's one of the things about this, the decluttering, is that you have to make sure that you're not trying to be a perfectionist about it. The goal is not to go through everything. The goal is to make progress. Pens that don't work. I know you've got them. I've got them. We all got them. Go through those pens. Same thing. Set a timer. Get rid of those pens that don't work. It's not clicking anymore. It's kind of like jittery, or like sort of writing and sometimes not writing. Toss it out, get rid of it. Old phone cases. Every time I change a phone, I have to get a new phone case. And the last time I changed my phone, they took my phone, but obviously they didn't need the phone case, so I just tossed it out. But you probably have some phone cases, and I think too, this is frustrating because we spend a good amount of money to protect our phone and the phone cases, right? You gotta get rid of them. They're not gonna be useful, and if you can try to sell them, the chances of someone wanting a used phone case are very slim. So, expired medications. I really struggle with this one because sometimes, like, if it expires before the kids, especially the kids, like I go through more kids' cough medicine or like Tylenol or whatever when the kids are sick when they're younger. I'll finish it before it expires and I have to buy a new one. Like, I struggle with that. But if you've got expired medication, time to let it go, send it off. And the way you dispose of like prescription medication, especially for adults prescription medication, is there's actually drop-off centers that you can send that off to, just so that you don't like accidentally throw in the garbage and like something happens. But condiment packets, I keep things from the stores and the restaurants. Like I keep mustard and ketchup packets and things like that. But sometimes it can be overabundance. And sometimes they're just taking up, again, real estate, that's the word. And sometimes they're just taking real estate inside your fridge. So if you have them in your fridge or you have them in your spice thing, especially because they're not gonna last forever. I know we think they are, but it's probably not healthy to have it if it's been there for like 5 years. Unusable clothes or outgrown clothes. So everyone's closet probably has a few pieces that you're no longer gonna be using. You probably haven't used in 6 months or a year, and you probably did the hanger trick and forgot about it or couldn't bear to like part with it. Kids definitely go through a lot of clothes very quickly. Those take 5 minutes. All you're looking for though, like there's a caveat with this, like don't go through and like take your entire closet out. You're only looking for unusable clothes and outgrown clothes. Like those are the key words. So if it doesn't fit you, it's gotta go. If it doesn't fit the kids, it goes. And if you need help with decluttering your kids' closets, I actually created a video about decluttering. I guess I'm just gonna be telling you guys a lot about the other videos that I have made that has helped other people, but I'll point up here the decluttering video that I made and how I teach you how to do like my decluttering system and how it works for me. Kids' utensils and sippy cups and plates. So if you have any of those kind of categories where your kids had like plastic sippy cups or little plastic plates or forks and knives and things like that they were using once upon a time but are no longer used and are just kind of sitting in the cabinet, which I kept for a little bit because we were using it for kind of like art projects and like random things like that, let them go. Save the cabinet space, make room for other things that you're actually going to be utilizing now, but it's time to get rid of all of those things the kids are no longer using. Dried up markers. Dried up markers, they just seem to be inevitable when you have kids because they forget to put the tops on all the time, and it doesn't matter. Like even if you use the hack of like taping the tops together, my kids managed to not make that work. So get rid of the dry erase markers, get rid of the colored markers, all of those things. But there is a tip or a trick for dry erase markers that I learned. Actually, if you take off the back end, so I don't have a dry erase right now, but if you take off the back end, you just like have to pry it off a little bit. You can actually flip the entire pen in, or marker tip actually is what I want to say. You flip the marker tip and it'll stick back out and it'll work again. So that's a hack you can use, or you can try if you want to salvage the marker. But if it's pretty damaged and the kids have probably smashed it in and it's kind of like frayed, just get rid of it. Worn out socks. I know, we use them, like we kind of keep them around the house. Maybe we're using them for like nighttime socks. It's time to get rid of them. If you can see through them or they've got holes in their talking, it's time to get rid of those socks. Roll them up and get them out. Old shopping lists. This really sounds hilarious, but I actually have found myself like, I went shopping one time and then like I had a list that was with me and like I completed the list and then like I put it down and like on the side of takeout menus. So I'm not even sure why, like we ordered pizza the other day and I don't even know why they still like put the menus there, because they don't even do the coupons anymore on there, because that was why I used to keep takeout menus. But if you still have takeout menus, you don't need them anymore. Everything's online. Find a QR code somewhere around the restaurant or area, you're definitely going to be able to find the menu that you need, so you don't have to keep those anymore. Bath towels. If you've got a whole closet full of towels and some of them are discolored now, are no longer the blue they were when you first bought them, are fraying at the ends of them, or maybe have some splotches, or just kind of like are losing their absorbency, which towels really do. They lose their absorbency after a certain amount of time, depending on the type of towels that they are. You should probably be getting rid of them and rotating them out for newer towels. Again, I made another video on how many towels you should have. So if you struggle with maintaining the towels or maybe too many towels, check out that video that I post up there about the minimalist way that you can manage your towels. Broken and mismatched jewelry. I haven't touched in a long time. Actually, I recently broke my big one, but I have struggled with getting rid of it because I just don't want to throw it in the garbage. This is one of the very few things that I personally don't find throwing in the garbage when it's still useful, because someone can use it for custom jewelry, for, I don't know, for drama class, for whatever. And so if though you have jewelry that's broken, this can be a culprit Don't keep it because you're not gonna fix it. If it's been there 6 months and a year and you said, I'm gonna go to the jewelry store, I'm gonna go to Michael's and I'm gonna buy the little thing and I'm gonna fix it and blah, 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 it's not happening. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not happening. School papers. So I have my daily meal routine, right, that I talked about in one of my videos, and my kids bring home papers all the time. I don't keep all of my kids' papers, but sometimes my kids don't want me to get rid of them. And so I kind of put them in the temporary file on my counter and I will leave them there. But also like school papers of like notes, like it's early release or they're having some fun kind of day or it's the field trip day or any of those kind of things. You got to get rid of those because otherwise they're just going to pile up and then you're going to get lost and you're not going to remember what's actually happening. So get rid of those. And for some of the school papers that the kids want me to keep, but I know they're not like their favorites, I will keep them for a little bit, but then reusable water bottles. So I know if any family in the world has water bottles, it is definitely the American family. I mean, the Stanley thing was like a thing, right? So if you've got a gazillion water bottles, no organizer is gonna help that. You're gonna have to get rid of some, pare it down, maybe 2 per person is what you do, maybe max at 3 because you've got a sport activity or whatever. The goal is we don't need that many water bottles. 1 or 2 per person is probably going to be the best kind of solution to that. And then every so often, make sure you're checking the components of your water bottles, making sure like the rubber pieces are not going bad or like moldy and things like that. Because if they are, I don't think you're going to want to keep that. So you're probably going to want to go ahead and toss those out as well. Cookbooks. So a love-hate relationship with cookbooks as well. I love the idea of them. I love looking at the pictures. Sometimes I love getting the recipes sometimes because I get frustrated with like, sometimes the recipe calls for like one thing or like a teaspoon of a certain season. And then you go buy this whole jar and you're not going to use it again. But I digress from that. Cookbooks are great if you're an avid cooker and you love it and you utilize it often. But if you don't and you haven't utilized a recipe, and I'm talking to myself, yeah, me. If you haven't utilized it or made a recipe from that cookbook in like 6 months, a year, you're probably not going to. And me, I have a few and I refuse to get rid of them. I mean, I didn't say I was perfect, but you know, just saying. The cookbooks, you can. Actually, what I have been doing is I am using a new recipe tool for me, going digital. I'm going completely digital because I know that I struggle with the recipe books, especially if they're given to me. Sometimes I'm like, oh, they thought that was cute that I was going to make that. Like there's cookbooks for the kids and stuff and baked goods and things. But there is a new app that I'm utilizing that actually will save an online recipe for you inside the app. And then you can save it by a certain title, you can organize it, and then you can save all the ingredients to make that recipe. So you can like just pull it up. And then when you go shopping, you have everything that you need. All of these things are things that you can declutter without fear of like guilt or like I got rid of something and I'm really gonna need it one day. Like a lot of these things are gonna be so easy to declutter. It's gonna transform your home. So if you actually just tackle this, even if you did this, like you could do a 30-day decluttering challenge and do one thing every single day, or maybe you do 5 or 10 minute sessions. You could totally get through these list of items. But the point is that when it comes to decluttering, I think what a lot of people think of is that you're eliminating things. And in fact, it's actually you're keeping only the things that are serving you. And that's something that I talk about all the time, is that we only keep things that are serving us and the person we are today, the family we are today, and we're eliminating things that we no longer need. And so don't think of it as getting rid of things that are in a bad way, I guess is what I'm trying to say.